Hello, this is On the Stoop with Ron Kuntz, but as you can see, I'm in the house now. But as promised, I'm going to talk about Michael Maiello's testimony yesterday. Michael Maiello is the COBA's treasurer, and he was the treasurer from 2010 to currently. So he was the treasurer when the $20 million investment was made in Platinum Partners. And his testimony is similar to Elias's testimony. He is also a member of the board of trustees that handles the annuity fund. All right. Now, he is saying that he never received the due diligence letters that were generated by the law firm Kohler and Isaacs. And he's saying that Seabrook never told him about them. He never saw them. But yet and still, in February of 2014, he signed a resolution to move $10 million to Platinum Partners, even though he had not seen the due diligence. Okay, so let me just kind of recap what happened in 2014. They had a meeting of the annuity board trustees in January. Platinum Partners made a presentation. In February, a resolution was drafted to move $10 million to Platinum Partners. Okay, and in March, everything went through and $10 million was moved to Platinum Partners. Okay, so Mr. Maiello, he attended this meeting. He knew that they were supposed to get due diligence from the law firm as well as the investment advisor. He says in his testimony that he never received the due diligence that had the red flags from the law firm, yet and still he signed the resolution in February to move the $10 million. So of course, they asked him, why did he do that? And pretty much he didn't really have an answer. The difference between his testimony and Elias's testimony is Elias is saying that he signed the resolution to move the $10 million in February, but Elias is saying he did not read the resolution. Michael Maiello, the treasurer, is saying that he read the resolution and he signed the resolution. So in the resolution, they pointed out that it was referring to the due diligence that was done by the law firm in the resolution. And so even though he had not seen the due diligence, he still signed the resolution moving the $10 million, which is kind of odd. Also, in June, when the second $5 million went to Platinum Partners from the general fund, from the rainy day fund, Michael Maiello was involved in that as well because he is the treasurer. So he explains what happened in that situation. He says that it was the first week in June of 2014, and Norman had did a wire transfer from the reserve fund to Platinum Partners, and he had no prior knowledge that was going to happen, that he didn't approve that. But the way they have the account set up in the COBA is that if you want to transfer money out of the general fund's accounts, you have to have two signatures. So I think that you have to have Norman's signature and the treasurer's signature as well, Michael Maiello's signature. So Norman transferred this money from Michael Maiello's testimony. He's saying Norman transferred this money to Platinum Partners without his consent, without his knowledge, and the bank generated an email to him because they were requesting his signature to go on this wire transfer. Michael Maiello says he was not in the office that day. He was out in the field, but when he came to the office the following day, he saw these emails from the bank telling him to contact them and that they needed his signature. He contacted the bank. They informed him that $5 million had been wired to Platinum Partners and they needed his signature. So he affixed his signature to a fax and faxed it to Platinum Partners. I mean, not to Platinum Partners, but to the bank, Hudson Valley Bank. So then he says that, I think this was on a Thursday or Friday, at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, which was on a Sunday, which was that following Sunday, he saw the other executive board members, Elias, William Valentine, and maybe a few others, and he brought it to their attention that $5 million had been transferred to Platinum Partners out of the general fund. And that is what triggered Elias's confrontation with Seabrook, and we know what happened there. He also confirms that at the next executive board meeting that William Valentine did confront Norman Seabrook about the $5 million transfer. And he was expressing the fact that Norman was not supposed to transfer that money without the consent of the executive board. And Seabrook said, that's under litigation, so we can't talk about it. And that was the end of the conversation. As I spoke about before, William Valentine sued the union and Norman Seabrook and charged that he had violated the Constitution and the bylaws by moving the $5 million without the executive board members' consent. So, as I said before, Seabrook had to respond to William Valentine's lawsuit, and he wrote an affidavit, and I went into that about Seabrook's affidavit. What we found out yesterday in Mikey Maiello's testimony is that he also filled out an affidavit in response to William Valentine's lawsuit. And in his affidavit, he says that he approved of Norman's investment strategies, meaning that he was, in support of this $5 million being moved. He says that in his affidavit. So they ask him about it. They ask him, did you approve of this money being sent? And he says no. And, they question him. They say, well, as before, we know that the executive board was going to go through an expansion of 5 members, and you needed to finance the additional 5 members. Was investing in Platinum Partners mentioned as a way of raising money to finance the expansion of the executive board? To which he responded, no, that wasn't an option. The only option one of the options that he was familiar with was the option to cut back, because he said they had expenses that were related to public relations and related to printing services and things like that could have been cut back on to have to make the money available for the extra 5 executive board members. So he didn't approve of any money going to Platinum Partners to invest out of that rainy day fund. He holds the same position as Elias on that money is not supposed to be invested. So they asked him, okay, so why on your affidavit do you say that you approved of this investment strategy? And he says, well, no, I don't approve of the investment strategy. So that's when the judge got involved. Now the judge stands up and says, but hold it. You say in your sworn affidavit that you approved of the investment strategy. And he says, yeah, I did say that. And then the judge says, you signed false things. You took an oath. And you're saying that now that you didn't tell the truth. And Michael Maiello confirmed that no, that he did not tell the truth on the affidavit, on the sworn affidavit. Okay, which I think is incredible, that a person can sign a sworn affidavit and then sit in court and say that what he swore to, that was not the truth. But that's what's happening. That's what happened in court yesterday. Also, towards the end of Michael Maiello's testimony, it was brought out that he said that he had been disciplined by his peers in the executive board, and his punishment they decided that he needed to go to due diligence training. Okay, and then they asked him, okay, have you been to due diligence training? And he says, no, I haven't done that yet, which I felt was also incredible, because this $20 million money transfer happened in 2014. Here we are in August of 2018, and he has still not yet gone to due diligence training. I find that incredible, but this is how your union is functioning right now. Okay, so that was Mr. Maiello's testimony. After he was finished on the stand, they brought in the government's key witness, Jonah Resnick, who is going to explain everything as it relates to this whole bribery scheme that he and Norman Seabrook allegedly came up with. Okay, and I will talk about that in my next video, so stay tuned for that. As I said in my last video, like this video if you watched it all the way through, but also like the On the Stoop page, because I may not be able to share this video and the future videos with all the groups that I've been sharing the videos with, and the groups that you've been watching this video on. Facebook seems to have a problem with that. So if you like the On the Stoop channel, then when I put out a video, you know, you can set the notification so you know, and then you can just go right there and see it, and you don't have to worry about missing any episodes. So as I always do, I encourage everybody to purchase Correction Officer's Guide to Understanding Inmates. It helps you avoid the pitfalls of the job. If you're on the job, or if you have a loved one on the job, or you just want to read about what goes on in correction, I advise you to purchase, or I encourage you to purchase Correction Officer's Guide to Understanding Inmates. I'm going to put the information under the description on this video. It's $12.95 on Amazon. And as always, I encourage you to purchase the Keychains. Nice gold engraved with black inlay keychains. They make perfect gifts, they make good, perfect souvenirs, and they make perfect keychains. So those are also on Amazon, and I will provide the link for that as well. So until next time, until the next video, as always, peace, stay safe.